For a distortionless line, the parameters are related as ARGLC, BRL1, CRGCL, DRGLC. The correct answer is RGLC. A field can be A harmonic, B divergence-less, C solenoidal, D rotational. The correct answer is rotational. Phase velocity of waves propagating in a hollow metal waveguide is A greater than the group velocity, B less than the velocity of light in free space, C equal to the velocity of light in free space, D equal to group velocity. The correct answer is greater than the group velocity. If a plane electromagnetic wave satisfies the equation, the wave propagates at an angle of 45 between the x and z direction. A x direction, B z direction, C y direction, D xy plane. The correct answer is z direction. Good smoothing factor of a coil depends on A inductance of the coil, B terminal voltage, C cross-sectional area of the wire of the coil, D property of the wire of the coil. The correct answer is property of the wire of the coil. A waveguide behave as A high-pass filter, B low-pass filter, C band-pass filter, D all-pass filter. The correct answer is high-pass filter. Radar antennas are usually A dipoles, B Yagi antennas, C parabolic dishes, D none of the above. The correct answer is parabolic dishes. The radio horizon for space waves is about 3/4 as far as the optical horizon. A true, B false, C, D. The correct answer is false. Triatics are A small height antenna directly mounted on jeeps, ships, etc. B the towers or masts which are used as radiators. C the towers or masts which are not used as radiators. D supports for antenna conductors. The correct answer is the towers or masts which are not used as radiators. Which of the following is abnormal variation in ionosphere? A diurnal variation, B seasonal variation, C ionospheric storms, D none of the above. The correct answer is ionospheric storms. Troposphere is the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere which absorbs large quantities of sun's radiations. A true, B false, C, D. The correct answer is false. For resonant long wire antenna n half wavelength long in free space, if n is increased, then inclination of the major lobe with wire axis will A increases, B decreases, C remains same, D none. The correct answer is decreases. The maximum effective aperture of two half-wave antenna is A 0.0132, B 0.132, C 1.32, D 13.2. The correct answer is 0.132. Zoning is used with a dielectric antenna in order to A permit pinpoint focusing, B reduce the bulk of the lens, C increase the bandwidth of the lens, D correct the curvature of the wavefront from a horn that is too short. The correct answer is permit pinpoint focusing. For aeroplane and navigation, frequency band is A VLF, B UHF, C VHF, D EHF. The correct answer is UHF. Poynting vector signifies which of the following? A power density vector producing electrostatic field, B power density vector producing electromagnetic field, C current density vector producing electrostatic field, D current density vector producing electromagnetic field. The correct answer is power density vector producing electromagnetic field. Which one is correct? A. Sky wave propagation 2 to 30 MHz. B. Space wave propagation 30 MHz. C. Tropospheric propagation 300 MHz. D. All of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. When a magnetic circuit is compared with an electric circuit, the equivalent of the magnetic flux is A. The conductivity of the lines. B. The voltage of the source. C. The current in the lines. D. The conductance of the load. The correct answer is the current in the lines. A temp wave incident obliquely on a dielectric boundary with R12 and R21. The angle of incidence for total reflection is A. 30. B. 60. C. 45. D. 90. The correct answer is 45. The total field produced by an antenna array system at a distance from it is A. Sum of the field produced by the individual antennas of the array system. B. Directional gain of antenna. C. Linear antenna gain. D. Vector sum of the field produced by the individual antennas of the array system. The correct answer is vector sum of the field produced by the individual antennas of the array system. A perfect conductor is a perfect absorber of electromagnetic waves. A. True. B. False. C. D. The correct answer is true. In a lead acid cell, the density of the acid gives an indication of A. The level of the acid. B. The eventual damages caused to the plates. C. The charge of the battery. D. The EMF of the battery. The correct answer is the charge of the battery. A 0.75 J50 ohm load is connected to a coaxial transmission line of Z075 ohms at a frequency of 10 GHz. Which of the following will be the best method of matching? A. Connecting an inductance at the end. B. Connecting a short-circuited stub at the load. C. Connecting a capacitance at some distance from the load. D. Connecting a short-circuited stub at some specified distance from the load. The correct answer is connecting a short-circuited stub at some specified distance from the load. Ground wave propagation is useful for A. Microwave. B. Medium wave. C. Short wave. D. Long distance. The correct answer is medium wave. Radio waves are electromagnetic waves having frequency range A. 0.001 to 50 Hz. B. 0.001 to 50 kHz. C. 0.002 to 50 MHz. D. 0.001 to 1016 Hz. The correct answer is 0.001 to 1016 Hz. When a line of any odd multiple of a quarter wavelength is short-circuited, it represents A. Unit impedance. B. Infinite impedance. C. Zero impedance. D. None of the above. The correct answer is infinite impedance. An antenna is considered to be in free space where its height above the ground is A. B2. C. Less than 3. D. More than 5. The correct answer is more than 5. In waveguide, degenerate modes are A2 mode having same cutoff frequency. B2 mode having same power. C2 mode having same phase velocity. D. It is a hypothetical mode. The correct answer is 2 mode having same cutoff frequency. Microwave signals follow the curvature of the Earth, and the phenomenon is known as A. Tropospheric scatter. B. Duct propagation. C. Faraday effect. D. None of the above. The correct answer is duct propagation. In a carbon-zinc cell, the function of the depolarizer is that A. It synthesizes the decomposed electrolyte. B. It converts the produced hydrogen into water. C. It absorbs the oxygen produced in the cell. D. It prevents the fast chemical action on the zinc container. The correct answer is, it converts the produced hydrogen into water. The effective height of an antenna is slightly greater than physical height because a wave velocity in conductor is less than its velocity in free space. B. Wave velocity in conductor is more than its velocity in free space. C. Resistance of conductor is less than that of free space. D. None of the above. The correct answer is, wave velocity in conductor is less than its velocity in free space. A long periodic antenna is A. Frequency-independent antenna. B. Frequency-dependent antenna. C. Directional antenna. D. None of the above. The correct answer is, frequency-independent antenna. In a 4-element Yagi-Uda antenna, A. There is one driven element, one director, and two reflectors. B. There is one driven element, two directors, and one reflector. C. There are two driven elements, one director, and two reflectors. D. All the 4 elements are driven element. The correct answer is, there is one driven element, two directors, and one reflector. The statement that the line integral of magnetic field about any closed path is exactly equal to the direct current enclosed by that path is known as A. Ampere's circuital law. B. Coulomb's law. C. Electrostatics theory. D. None of the above. The correct answer is, Ampere's circuital law. Transverse magnetic trademark waves have A. Magnetic field component H in the direction of propagation. B. Electric field component E in the direction of propagation. C. Magnetic field component H in the direction of propagation and no component of electric field E in this direction. D. Electric field component E in the direction of propagation and no component of magnetic field H in this direction. The correct answer is, electric field component E in the direction of propagation and no component of magnetic field H in this direction. UHF and microwaves in the frequency range 300 MHz to 30 GHz can be best transmitted using propagation. A. Sky wave. B. Ground wave. C. Duct. D. None of the above. The correct answer is, duct. The directive gain of two resonant wire is 1.64. A. True. B. False. C. D. The correct answer is, true. The effective height of a vertical radiator can be increased by A. Loading with lumped inductance. B. Supporting on an insulator. C. Capacitive loading. D. Giving input more power. The correct answer is, capacitive loading. When an electromagnetic wave traveling in one medium strikes upon a second medium having a different conductivity, the wave will be A. Totally transmitted. B. Totally reflected. C. Neither transmitted nor reflected. D. Partially transmitted and partially reflected. The correct answer is, partially transmitted and partially reflected. For transmission of waveform, a dielectric medium of permittivity 1 into a dielectric medium of lower permittivity 2 1 2, the critical angle of incidence C relative to the interface is given by A. sin 1. B. cos 1. C. tan 1. D. The correct answer is, tan 1. The line of sight communication requires that transmit and receive antennas to face each other. If the transmit antenna is vertically polarized, for the best reception the receive antenna should be A. horizontally polarized. B. vertically polarized. C. at 45 with respect to horizontal polarization. D. at 45 with respect to vertical polarization. The correct answer is horizontally polarized. An antenna has 40 resistance and 60 radiation resistance. The efficiency of the antenna is A 30, B 40, C 50, D 60. The correct answer is 60. The duration of sunspot cycle is A 1 year, B 11 years, C 55 years, D 100 years. The correct answer is 11 years. Electromagnetic cavity resonators energy storage devices are used in A. Wave meters, B. bandpass filters, C. high frequency tubes, D. all of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. Waveguides are generally used above A. 20 MHz, B. 100 MHz, C. 200 MHz, D. 1000 MHz. The correct answer is 1000 MHz. Maximum power transfer will take place in a practical antenna if X L Load Reactance X A Antenna Reactance A X L X A, B X L X A, C X L X A, D X L X A2. The correct answer is X L X A. Which type of fading causes serious distortion of modulated signal? A. Selective fading, B. Interference fading, C. Absorption fading, D. Polarization fading. The correct answer is selective fading.